everyone, welcome back to Craftersations. How you doing? Hanging in there? Do you have your craft with you? If not, pause, walk away for a minute, get what you need, settle back in. Since last time, I finished up this guy. It was mostly done the last time we chatted. And then I also got that done. Just like I said, just ramping up production for those craft fairs. But I'm taking a break now. My younger son asked for something, which is really special. So he wants this. So that's what we're working on now. Alright. Eventually you'll see me do something other than book folding. I've got a sweater that I'm in the middle of for crochet for myself. And there's cross stitching that I do. So at some point you'll see that I actually do other stuff. But until then. Alright. So I mentioned that this one's for my younger son. And my older son had requested one back before the holidays. He's gotten into cars. And he has a car that he's really proud of. And it's a Honda Prelude, for those of you guys that know cars. So he's super proud of this car. And he asked if I would do Honda Prelude for a book fold. So that one's actually upstairs. I'd run and get it, but I'll show you next time if I remember. Anyway, so he asked me to do that. And there's something very touching, especially with having teenage sons. Emoting isn't always their strongest quality. But to have him value my skill enough to ask for this personalized gift, I don't know, it was kind of like an I love you. That's how I'm going to choose to take it. So I told my younger son, no pressure. I don't expect you to want one, but your older son asked, or your older brother asked for one, and I made it. So if you have a design that you'd like, let me know. And I'll be more than happy to put one together for you. So he said, okay. And he just kind of sat on it for a while. And then finally, maybe not quite a month ago. So we're a couple months past the holidays now. He said, hey Mom, what do you think about this design? Do you think this is doable? I said, I got you, kiddo. So I wanted to get a little more of the craft fair products kind of squirreled away so that those shows have I have more inventory for the shows, but I'm finally at a point where I feel like I can take a personal breather and do this for him. So last time we had talked about the power of leaving a legacy behind. That's normal. I really don't plan these craftersations out, so I don't intentionally arc or segue these chats, but it's just interesting that it happened to kind of fall in line. So the crafting is definitely a way to leave a legacy, right? Especially when gifting your craft is probably the most common, at least for those of us starting out, before it really had the chance to become a business. Maybe it never becomes a business. Gifting our craft is really where it's at. And I don't know about you, it makes me so happy. And maybe it's not entirely altruistic then, but it makes me really happy when I see people using or enjoying the things that I've made them, because I know how much love went into making it for them, right? I mean, you're thinking about them the entire time you're putting the piece together. Like your love for them is literally embedded in the final product. And so it means a lot when our loved ones especially appreciate what we do. It's having a little bit of that love given back to us, maybe? I don't know. It's just me. So, as a teacher, this is another way to leave a legacy behind. So obviously as a parent, I raise up my children and I hope they carry something of our family tradition, our culture, forward with them. As a crafter, I'm literally making physical pieces that will hopefully last, maybe even be cherished by those that come after. I don't know, maybe it's not asking too much. But as a teacher too, I'm very blessed that so many avenues of my life have given me an opportunity to feel like I'm making an impact, like I'm leaving something behind. It gives me a strong sense of purpose, and I think for humans it's really important to feel like what we're doing matters, even in just a very local way, right? To our family, to our local community. So teaching is another way that I can, fulfill that need. And so something really special happened last night. I was doing my yoga. I do yoga. I enjoy it very much. And Facebook Messenger bubble popped up. So I didn't look at it right away because I was, in the moment. But when I was all done, I checked, and it was one of my past students from many years ago now, from a different state that we were in, before we moved to Nevada. So this particular student and I had a very good relationship. Super sweet. Oh my goodness, this child, so sweet. Not a child anymore. But we had that kind of relationship where he would jokingly call me mom, instead of Mrs. Smith or teacher. Just had a really good relationship. And so he's in the military. I got this through the message. He's in the military, which I knew because we are Facebook friends. I don't friend them while we're students, but afterwards I have no problem maintaining contact. I have contact with some of my high school teachers. Anyway, so he's in the military and he just made sergeant. And so he's got his own desk and he's got this position that he's super proud of. And he said that he knew from my Facebook posts that I made these books. He's like, I don't know what they're called, but you make these books. He's like, I was wondering, I'm willing to pay. But I was wondering if you'd be willing to make one for me. Something to put on my desk. And something that, was from somebody that he respected and felt was a really important role model and that had inspired him, which, these kids, I swear, all the heartstrings, right? Do you know what an honor it is to be asked to do this for you? So he sent me the image that he wanted, and in fact I'll be putting that pattern together later today, and I'll start it after I finish my son's. But to have the student come back to me after several years now, and yeah, we're in contact through Facebook, but not actively. I am just a passing post on his feed, that he might sporadically see. But he thought of me as the person that he wanted to help him honor this advancement. So, legacies, right? I heard, and I've probably read too, because I read a lot about neurobiology, that like when people get dementia, especially Alzheimer's, they forget specific memories, but they don't forget feelings. Like the brain processes those differently. It stores those things in different places. And that's stuck with me. That somebody might forget who you are, but they won't forget how you made them feel. And I think that when I heard that, it rewired some things in my brain. I think it changed how I looked at parenting. It definitely changed how I looked at teaching. I realized that the most important thing I can give to my students is not necessarily a solid content base, because let's be honest, the things that they learn in my class are not going to change their lives for the most part. Understanding how cells work, or food chains work, or even the details of the water cycle are not going to vastly change their day-to-day lives. But the way they feel in my classroom, if I can make them feel valued and worthy and like they have something to contribute and they have the potential to learn and to be better, or just, my God, just to feel loved, just to feel welcomed. Like when they walk in my room, I can greet them with a smile. And they don't feel the burden of anything that's going on outside the boundaries of my classroom. They remember that. They remember how I made them feel. And the students that I've kept in touch with, they're the students that I felt there was a connection beyond the academics in the room with them. We haven't stayed connected because of the academics. We've stayed connected because of the interpersonal relationship that was established during our year together, or years in some cases. I had students, in biology, and then I had them again in anatomy and physiology, or I had them in biology and I had them again in AP environmental. They came back to me because they remembered how I made them feel. And so with parenting too, now it's different with parenting, right? Like the stakes are higher. They have a lot of other connections, but ultimately as the parent, like you are the most important source for them. So the stakes are a little higher. So there are some lessons that are extremely important. The content matters, I guess is what I'm saying. The content matters with parenting. But that emotional connection, I don't think can be undersold. And with teen boys, it can be tough. Like I said, they don't always, at least my boys, I guess I shouldn't speak for all teen boys, but my boys, they're not the biggest emoters. So I kind of have to sometimes take it on faith that we're connecting in the ways that matter. But then they do stuff like this, where they ask for something from me that no one else can give them. It has to come from me. And you know that things are connecting. You know what I did? I don't think it has to be this emotional memory. I don't think it has to be with people that are in your lives, 24/7, family or coworkers. I mean, I think about the power of just smiling at somebody on the street, or the cashier who's helping you out at the store. That smile, that effortless compliment that, it literally costs you nothing. But that feeling's going to stay with them because we remember how we feel. Those emotions are so powerful, they stick with us. So maybe think about that. How do people feel when they're around you? What are they going to carry away with them when they're done interacting with you? When they forget all of the concrete memories, and the only thing that's left is the emotion of the moment. What is that going to feel like? What emotions are you choosing to walk away with? What are you going to be left with when the concrete memories are gone and all you have left are the emotions of the moment? I hope they're good. Whatever you do, I hope they're good. All right, well, I think that was enough for today. So I hope you got some crafting in. Thanks for the chat. And until next time, happy crafting.